Monday Health Minutes, sponsored by Valley Health.
Hi, I'm Melanie Schaefer. Welcome to Monday Health Minutes. Schizoaffective disorder is a severe mental health disorder that affects how an individual thinks and feels and behaves. And it includes mood episodes similar to bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. So how do we sort this all out? We're talking with psychiatrist Dr. Scott Murphy about it today. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Describe to me what schizoaffective disorder is.
So if we think in terms of diagnoses like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, we get two main types of symptoms we're dealing with. There are mood episodes like depression and manic episodes, and there are psychosis symptoms like delusions and hallucinations. Schizoaffective disorder is an umbrella term that captures an illness that carries features of both. And so someone with this disorder is likely to have both depressions and mania episodes, as well as hallucinations and or delusions that can persist even when they're not having a mood episode. And so the hearing something that is not there, seeing something that is not there, that might persist even if their mood is perfectly fine.
That sounds very difficult to diagnose.
It can be, and a lot of that is trying to get good information about timelines, and so getting an understanding of what types of episodes someone has had in the past and when their psychosis symptoms have occurred, and whether those were, say, only during a manic episode or if they persisted between. Sometimes from our perspective as clinicians, that can mean getting some additional information from family members who, of course, know their loved one more than we do and can provide that background information to help out.
So what are some of the symptoms or behaviors that family members should be watching for?
So if someone has a major shift in their overall personality, such as, for example, they may stop sleeping, they may be talking really fast, they could become very impulsive, then we start to worry that they may be developing a manic episode. And if along the way they also seem to be, for example, talking with people when there's no one in the room, or responding as if they are seeing things in the room and when no one else can see what they're seeing, then those could be psychosis symptoms. And so all of these would warrant coming to medical attention, and so that someone could be evaluated as to whether they're having these types of episodes and if there are some treatments that might be able to help.
Let's talk about treatments. What does that look like? Is it a combination of medicine and therapy? Does one work better than the other?
Absolutely. So psychosis symptoms and manic episode, they usually respond best to medications. That is to say, those sort of aspects of the illness respond to medications. Depression can respond to a combination of medications and therapy, but therapy remains important for the whole picture, because even beyond just treating the psychosis symptoms or the manic episodes, there's also becoming educated about the illness, adjusting to life with a disorder that means taking medications, learning things about how to get through each day and to cope when stressors come along to try to prevent unraveling.
Is this a disorder that someone will have lifelong?
It is often a lifelong illness, and so that used to be a much more severe prognosis than it is before we had medications. So the medications that treat psychosis and mania are relatively new. We've only had medications for these symptoms for around the past 75 years or so.
How do the medications fare on efficacy? Are there any complications that people should watch for about those medications?
Absolutely. So antipsychotic medications have been around since the 50s and the 60s. They've come a long way, and so many of the side effects are much less severe now than they would have been several decades ago, but they still exist. And some of them include things like gaining weight or developing tremors, so someone might get tremors in their hands or their face. And those can be a little hard to deal with sometimes, and so we really try to work with someone on nutrition and exercise and overall health to counteract those things. At the same time, it's important that if a medicine is keeping someone out of the hospital, engaged in their life, out in the community with their family, it's important to have it on board and to work with their health and try to prevent the side effects as best we can.
It's a lot to consider, but we all want our loved ones and ourselves to be healthy. So thank you so much, Dr. Murphy. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thanks for checking in on Monday Health Minutes.